Hey guys, welcome to Homework Help for Year 6 Term 2 Week 3. On page 23, question 1 says Julie visited 5 different butchers and found the following prices for 1 kilogram of T-bone steak. You got $9.12, $9.35, $9.67, $9.39, $9.22. What was the average price of 1 kilogram of T-bone steak? So to find the average, we're just going to add all these numbers up. So 912 plus 935. Add them all up. Make sure the decimal place is in the right column and underneath each other, so it's all symmetrical. Maybe symmetrical is not the right word, but you know what I mean. It's all lined up like this. Okay, 39 actually. 39. 922. Just let me double check to see if it's correct. Yes, okay, add them all up. We're gonna get what do we get here? 2 plus 5 7, 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 9 is 23, 23 plus 2 is 25. This becomes 3, 6, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 3 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 17. This becomes 10. 10 plus 36 is 46. So 46. So that makes 46.75. Okay. Now we have to divide it by how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So to find the average, we add them all up and we divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 5 numbers. So we take 46.75 and we divide it by 5. You can get the answer to that. Question 2, find a number which is halfway between. Alright, to find a number that's halfway, all we gotta do is find the average. So we just add them up. 8.1 plus with 8.24, and then we divide it by how many numbers there are. There are 2 numbers. That's how you find the average. And by finding the average, you will get the middle number. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for this one. This will be 19.86. You're going to add with 19.54. Get the answer and then divide it by 2. I'll just do quickly this one. This will be 10. This will be 9 plus 5 is 14. This will be 10, 19. This will be 39.4. And then you can divide it by 2. Get the answer for those 2 questions. And then question 3 says a satellite takes 23.36 hours to orbit the Earth. How many complete orbit does the satellite make in 1 week? How many complete orbits? So what we got to do is we got to find out how many hours there are in a whole week. So 1 day you got 24 hours. So 1 week has 7 days. So 7 days, how many hours is that? So 7 times 24, we're going to get 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 is 16. So there are 168 hours in a whole week. Okay. So now you do 168, and you're going to divide it by 23. So you're going to divide it by 0.36. Okay. So now this is a bit difficult to do. You're dividing with decimals and you're not allowed to use calculator, so what do? So what you can do is you put into a fraction. You can say this will be 168 over 27.36, because division and fractions are related to each other, so they're the same thing almost. Okay. So when you divide, you can put into a fraction. Now in a fraction, we don't like to have decimals, so we can just multiply this by 100 to get rid of decimal. When you multiply by 100, decimal place will jump to the right 2 times. So now it becomes 2736. And what you did to the bottom number, you must do to the same thing to the top number. So I must multiply the top number also by 100. So that gives me 16800. Alright, now this number is still pretty hard to divide, so what we can do is we can simplify this number. I can see that these 2 numbers are even numbers, so I can just divide it by 2. Okay, you keep keep simplifying until you get an easier division. So let's divide it by 2. 16800 divided by 2. You're going to get 16 divided by 2 will be 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Bring the 8 down and you get 4. 2 times 4 is 8. And then you have 0. Bring the 0 down. That's another 0 and 0. So you're going to get 8,400. And then now we divide the second one by 2. 2736 divided by 2. You're going to get 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Bring the 0 remainder. Bring the 7 down. 7 divided by 2 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Take away, you get a 1 and bring the 3 down. 13 divided by 2 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Take away, you get the 1 and you bring the 6 down. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And you get 1368. Okay. And if you're happy to divide this, you can do so, but if you're not, you can simplify it even further. So let me just do some more division and see if we can make this even more simple. Again, these two numbers are still even. Okay, so we can divide it by 2 again. Alright, technically I can divide it by 4, okay, because I can tell that this number is divisible by 4 and so is this one, because of the divisibility rule. But for those who don't know how to use divisibility rule, just divide it by 2 again, it's fine. So this one divided by 2, you're going to get 4200. So this will be simplified to 4200. And let's divide the other one by 2. 1368 divided by 2. You're going to get 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Remainder 1. Bring the 6 down. That's 8. 2 times 8 is 16. No remainder. Bring the 8 down. That's 4. So 684. Okay, and you can divide it by 2 again. So that means this will be 2100. And divide the next one by 2. You're going to get 342. And then you can divide it by 2 again. So we're going to divide the top one by 2. Let me see what we get. 2100 divided by 2. You're going to get 1. This will be a 2. This will be 0. Bring the 1 down. 1 divided by 2 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Take away. You get remainder 1. And then bring the 0 down. This will give you a 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Take away. Bring the 0 down. Oh, it's getting a bit crazy there. And then then that will be 0 divided by 2 is 0. So therefore this will be 1050. And this one divided by 2, 342 divided by 2, you're gonna get 1. This will be a 2. Take away, you get a 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. And the remainder, bring a 2 down, you get a 1. So this will be 171. Alright, let's rub all this working out and see what we have. So we've simplified the fraction to this amount here. And I think we can start doing division now. So let me see. How many... this is an improper fraction, so let's divide and change it to mixed numeral. How many 171s go into 1050? Okay, well, let's have a look. It can't be 10. 10 times 171 is 1710. That's way too much. So let's try 5. 5 times 171, this will be a 5. 5 times 7 is 35. And 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So this will be 8. So that's not enough. So maybe more than 5. So I'm guessing maybe 6 or 7. So let's try 6. 6 times 171. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. And 1 times 6 is 6 plus 4 is 10. 126. Yep, so that means the answer is going to be 6. So this will be... So 171 goes into 1056 times. And what's the remainder? Well, 1050 take away 1026. Okay, so this will be a 4, this will be a 3, this will be a 2, so 24. So that means 24 over 171. Alright, that was a very long work it out. But you can see, now it says how many complete orbits. Okay, complete orbits. So we know, I'm just going to rub this out here. We know that it does, when you do division, you're going to get 6 orbits and 24 out of 171. So that means we have 6 complete orbits and part of an orbit is here. So that, but the question says how many complete orbits, so we know the answer is going to be 6 complete orbits. And there's your answer. Okay, we don't really care about this this part here, the fraction part, because it's not complete. It's 6 and a bit. It hasn't reached 7 yet, so we only have to think about the 6. We don't really care about the fraction part. All right, next question. Question 4. Michael runs 92.67 meters in 12 seconds. How far could he run in 2 minutes? Okay, so we have to compare them. So that means in 12 seconds, so let's look about the seconds. And so the time, actually I'll put a time instead. And the distance. So we're comparing time and distance. So the time is 12 seconds. And the distance is 92.67. So in 12 seconds you will travel, Michael will travel 92.67. Now in 2 minutes, 2 minutes is, we gotta change this one to seconds because we're dealing with seconds here, right? 2 minutes is 2 times 60 seconds, which is 120 seconds. So that means in 120 seconds, how far will Michael run? Well, 120 seconds is 10 times longer than 12 seconds, right? 120 divided by 12 is 10. So therefore, if you give Michael 10 times more time to run, he's going to travel 10 times more distance, isn't it? So if you times it by 10 there, you must times it by 10 over here, so you get 926.7. So when you multiply this number by 10, it just moves decimal place to the right, so the answer is 926.7 meters. So the answer is equal to 926.7 meters. Okay. Question number 5. A pencil is 19.5 centimeters long. How far will 1,000 pencils reach if laid end to end? Okay, so what does that mean? That means if I have one pencil, how you draw a pencil? All right, something like that. This is 19.5 centimeters. And if you have another, and you put them end to end, another one, and it should be the same length. Okay, this is also 19.5. And you just do that, the same thing, and so on. 1,000 of them. So what's the distance? So since each of them is 19.5 centimeters, just multiply that by 1,000, right? To get the distance from end to end. So all the way there, just do this working out, which is 19.5 centimeters, and times it by 1,000. What happens when you multiply any number by 1,000? What happened to the decimal place? Well, it moves. It's going to move to the right. So you got, let's look at the number 19.5. Let's put a couple zeros to the right because we know we're moving decimal place to the right. Okay. Now, decimal place is here and it jumps over here. It jumps 3 times to the right because we got 3 zeros. So we got 1, 2, and then 3. So decimal place is going to be here. Okay, so the answer is going to be 19500 centimeters. But the question says give your answers in meters. So we got to change this one to meters. So we know that in 1 meter there is 100 centimeters. So to go from centimeters to meters, we divide it by 100. Okay, so we have to divide this number by 100. So I have to divide this number by 100, cross out 2 zeros, and the answer is 195 meters. Okay, so I'm gonna rub this out. Actually, I might leave that in there. I might rub this out instead. So the answer is 195 meters. There's your answer. Question 6. Mary went shopping. She bought 2 kilograms of oranges at $1.99 per kilogram. 2 kilograms. So that means she bought. So 1 kilogram gonna cost you almost $2. So 2 kilogram must be double of that. Okay. 3 kilograms of bananas at $2.75 a kilo, and 5 kilograms of apples at $2.15 a kilo. How much money did she spend? What was her change? Okay. So 2 times $1.99 because she bought 2 kilograms, and then you're gonna have 3 kilograms of bananas at $2.75, so we multiply the numbers together, and 5 kilograms of apple, and if 1 kilogram costs $2.15, so what's 5 kilograms? You multiply it. Alright, get the answer, okay, and add them up, all of the decimals. These are decimals, so it's gonna add them all up. Get the answer there, and that's your first part. How much did she spend? Well, just find a total. Okay, so how much she spent? The answer is going to be when you add them all these numbers up. What was her change from 30? So this answer is going to be less than $30. So you do 30, take away, let's call this number X. Take away whatever that is, and then you get the answer for the change. Okay, you can do that yourself. Let's go next page. Question 7. A builder wants to buy concrete mix. It says the mix is $5.35 per kilo and the builder has $68 to spend. If the mix is sold in 4.2 kilogram bags, how many full bags of mix can the builder buy for his money? So the mix is $5.35 a kilo and the bag is 4.2 kilos. Okay. So what it's saying is 1 kilogram is going to cost you $5.35. Now in a bag, one bag has 4.2 kilograms. So how much is that going to cost? Well, all you're going to do is just do 535 times 4.2. Now, if you're not sure how to multiply fraction, I'll just remind you. Okay, so what you do is we want to make it into whole numbers. So I want to move decimal place to the right. How many? And let's see how many jumps we got to do. We got to do 1 and then 2. And for the bottom one, we're going to move once. So altogether, I've moved 3 jumps to the right. Okay, now they turn into whole numbers. We got 5, 35, and 42. And we're going to multiply these whole numbers. So let's have a look. 2 times 5, 10. 2 times 3, 6 plus 1 is 7. 2 times 5 is 10. Match equals 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. And 4 times 5 is 20. And plus 1 is 21. Add them together. You're going to get 0, 7, 4, 2, 2. And decimal place is right there. So, but because we moved 3 spaces to the right in the beginning, we must move the decimal place 3 spaces back to the left. So it's going to be 1, 2, and then 3. So now your answer is going to be 22.470. Well, we don't really need the 0 because it's just a 0, so you can just remove that. So it's going to cost, the one bag is going to cost $22.47. Okay. Now you have $68. So how many bags can you buy? How many bags, full bags of mix can we buy? So all we got to do is just divide 68 divided by 22.47. Now you don't have to actually do the whole division because it's asking how many full bags, how many complete bags. Okay, so I'm just gonna rub some of this stuff out and just focus on this. Now, let's see. Well, if I'm assuming that this is about 68, maybe we can buy 3 bags. Okay, so let's have a look. What's 3 times 22.47? Well, 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 3 times 2 is 6. So for 3 bags, so 1 bag gonna cost you $22.47. 3 bags gonna cost you $67.41. We have $68, so we have enough money to buy 3 bags, but no more than 3 bags. If you buy 1 more bag, it's gonna be, too expensive. You don't have the money. So how many bags can you buy? 3 full bags, and that's the answer. Okay, so the answer is 3 full bags. Question 8. Dave pays 29 cents tax for every dollar he earns. How much tax will he have to pay if he earns 692.23? Okay. So if he earns $1, let's just try and understand the question first. Earns and how much tax he pays. Tax paid. So if he earns $1, if he earns $1, he has to pay 29 cents tax. If he earns $2, he's gonna have to pay double of this. So if you double this, then you must double this. So this will be, what was 29 times 2? Will be 58 cents. If he pays $3, so that means you times it by 3. Oops. Okay, if you times it by 3, then you must also times this one by 3. And what's that? I don't know. What's 58 plus 29? This will be 7. This will be 87. So it'll be 87 cents and so on. Okay, but we're not going to keep going like that. We know how to do this now. So if he earns $692.23, that means to go from $1 all the way to that number, we multiply by 692.23. Okay, so therefore what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing to this side. You can see the pattern. What you do to one side, you do to the other side, right? So I'll multiply this by 692.23. So that's the working out. So now all you got to do is just take that, multiply by that, 29 cents, multiply by that. So let me just rub this other stuff out and we can do the working out there. All right. 29 times 692.23. So this one is testing to see if you can multiply decimals like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same method when we multiply decimals. Okay, we're going to move decimal place to the right 2 times. 1, 2 to make it a whole number. So we move decimal place to the right twice. So now we're going to do this kind of multiplication. We're going to do 6, 9, 2, 2, 3. This is a whole number now. Times it by 29. Alright. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 2 is 20. 18 plus 2 again is 20. 81 plus 2 is 83. And 9 times 6 is 54. 54 plus 8. 54 plus 8 is 62. Alright. Magical 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18. And 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Now we add them up. We get 7, 6, 4, 7, 10, and this will be another 10 and 2. Alright, now decimal place is right here after we've done that. Now because we moved decimal place to the right 2 times, we must move it back to the left 2 times. So 1, 2. So now the decimal place is going to be between the 4 and the 6. So the answer is 20,074.67. And this is all in cents, okay? Because when we multiply this is cents, 29 cents being multiplied with 600 and something. So this is also cents. We haven't. Now we gotta change it to $2. How much tax we have to pay? Okay, so just change it to dollars. To change cents to dollars, just divide it by 100, because $1 is 100 cents. So if you want to go from cents back to dollar, you divide by 100. So you do the same thing here, divide by 100. So you take this number. Let me just rub this out. You divide this by 100. What happens to the decimal place? Well, it's going to move again. So now when you divide it by 100, decimal place is going to jump to the left 2 times. 1, 2. So now the answer is $200.7467. We've successfully changed from cents to dollars. Now we don't really, when it comes to dollars, we don't really care about all these decimals here, okay? Only the first 2, because we want to deal with dollars and cents. We don't deal with more smaller than that. So therefore, the answer is $200.70. Now we round this cents and have to round it up, so it'll be 75 cents. Because the next number is a 6, so therefore this number should be a 5, because it's going to be round up. So the answer is going to be 200.75. That's how much he has to pay in tax. Alright, next question. It says Carl practices for the 100-meter sprint and records the following times in second. Okay, what was his average time to 2 decimal places? So to find the average, add them all up and divide it by how many numbers there are. So what you got to do is you got to add 9.8 plus 10.1 plus 10.01 plus 9.98 plus 9.995, and then divide it by how many numbers there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5. Okay, so you can do that on your own. Remember to add to add the decimals, put them in the put a decimal, line the decimals up. Make sure it's lined up. So you got 9.8. Okay. Now we're gonna add 10.1. Do not do 10.1 like this. The decimal place has to be lined up in a straight row. So it should look something like this. 10.1. So it should line up. Okay. Next one is 10.01. And then 9.98. And then 9.995. Now this one has 3 columns. The last one has 3 columns, and the rest of them only has 2 or 1. So for anything that you don't have, just put zeros in it. So here you put a 0. Anything that's missing there, you have 2 zeros here and 2 zeros here. Now all the numbers are easy to add up. You can add all this up and then divide the answer by 5 to get the average. I'll leave that to you. Question 10. Mrs. Peters gets paid $489.60 for a 40-hour week. What is her hourly wage? And then it says, what is her yearly wage? So to find the hourly wage, so that means that in 40, okay, let's look at the hours and the pay. So for 40 hours, she gets paid, he gets paid $489.60. So we want to know how much he gets, Mr. Peters gets paid in 1 hour. So to go from 40 to 1, we divide it by 40, and we divide this by 40. Okay. Right. So get the answer there, and that should be that should be the end of that. Hopefully you know how to divide by decimals by now. And then what's yearly wage? So if you want to get a yearly wage, this is a week. This is 1 week. Okay, to get a year, we just multiply it. So here's what you do for a year. So you take 489.6. This is 1 week. I want to know how much in a year. A year has 52 weeks. Okay, so what we do is we multiply by 52 and get the answer for the year. How much this person gets paid in a year. If you're not sure how to divide, I'll just quickly give you a reminder. So 489.660. We're dividing it by 40. So you just put into, you can just put it over a fraction, put it over 40 like this. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make them into whole numbers. So time this by 100, time this by 100, and you're going to get 4896000 over 4. Let's see, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, okay. Now just cross out the zeros. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, done. So now all you got to do is just do 4896 divided by 4. Okay, and that should give you the answer for how much this person makes in an hour. Alright, next question. Change the following to the decimal equivalents. Okay, so 4 hours and 15 minutes. So we got to change everything into hours. So we want everything in terms of hours. So 4 hours, and I want this one in terms of hours as well. So 4 hours is just 4 hours. Now 15 minutes, to change 15 minutes to hours. So let's just have a look at quickly how to do that. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. We know this. So to go from minutes to hours, we have to divide it by 60, right? And to go from hours to minutes, we times it by 60. Okay, that's just how it works. So to go from minutes to hours, we divide by 60. Let's just remember that. So this is 4 hours, so that's 4 hours. That's 4 whole hours. Now 15, we have to divide 15 by 60 to get hours. This is in minutes. So this is 15 minutes. I must divide it by 60 to get to hours. So if you're going to divide by 60, let's just put into a fraction. It might be easier that way. So you do 15 over 60. Okay. So when you do 15 divided by 60, that's the same as 15 over 60. The first number goes to the top, the second number goes to the bottom. That's division. And then we can simplify this. We can divide the top and bottom by 5. You're going to get 3. 60 divided by 5, you're going to get 12. And now we can simplify that further. We can divide it by 3. We get 1 over 4. So that means that 15 minutes is only 1/4 of an hour. They're the same thing. So, and 1/4, we should know by now, is 0.25. So let's put all of that into here. So 4 hours and 15 minutes is the same as 4 hours and 4.25 hours. There's your answer. Okay. Now the same thing we're doing is 3 kilograms here, so that's going to be 3 kilogram point. Now this, to get this one 471 grams, we want to return to kilograms. We know that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So to go from grams to kilogram, we divide it by 1,000. So you divide this number by 1,000 and you should get the answer here. And you're going to get 0.471. So the answer is 3.471. Okay. Next one, 4 meters. So that's equal to 4. We want to change this one to meters as well. So 17 centimeters, how do you get to meters? You divide it by what? Well, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So to go from centimeters to meters, we divide it by 100. So I'm going to divide this by 100 to get to the meters. Right? So you divide by 100, you're going to get 0.17. So therefore the answer is 4.17 meters. Alright, you can do the rest on your own. Those are the same thing, same method. And now question 12. A man can run 15 kilometers an hour. How far does he run in 5 minutes? Okay, so let's see. We got time and we have distance. We're comparing time and distance. So this person can run 15 kilometers in 1 hour. Now, we want to know how far this person runs in 5 minutes. Alright, well this is in hours, this is in minutes. It's a bit hard to compare. So let's change this, the top one, into minutes as well. It's a lot easier to change hours into minutes than minutes to hours. So let's do that one. So 1 hour we know is 60 minutes. Okay. So we want to know how much in 5 minutes. So how do you go from 60 to 5? We divide it by 12. Therefore you divide this one by 12 as well. Okay. They want to express your answer as a decimal. Okay. So first, when we do division, I prefer to divide with fractions, and then I can change my answer decimal afterwards. You can try doing. You don't have to do that. You can just divide and get decimal straight away. So I can just do 15 divided by 12. I can do that in decimal way as well. Alright, so how many 12's going to 15? We know the answer is 1. So 1 times 12 is 12. We subtract, we get 3. Now normally we stop there and we say the remainder is 3. But because we're doing decimals, there's no remainder here. Okay. So the answer is 1. Now, to get decimal, I'm going to have to put decimal and put in the zeros and just divide it. Okay, so 3 divided by 12, you can't really do it, so you put a decimal here, but now we can do 30 divided by 12. So you bring the 0 down and you say 30 divided by 12. Well, how many 12 is going to 30? Well, the answer is 2. 2 times 12 is 24. Subtract, you get the remainder of 6. And then bring the next 0 down. 60 divided by 12 is 5, and there's your answer. So the answer is 1.25 kilometers. Okay, there's your division. If you want to do a fraction way, like me, I prefer to do fraction. Okay, it's just easier. You can do this. You can do 15. So 15 divided by 12, that's just same as 15 over 12. And then you can simplify this to become, let me see, divide top and bottom by 3, you get 5 over 4. Now 5 over 4 is a mixed numeral. Let's change it to improper, 5 over 4 is an improper fraction. Let's change it to mixed numeral. So how many 4's going to 5? 1, remainder 1 over 4. Now 1 1/4 is equal to 1.25. It's the same thing. Okay, so we get the same answer. Okay, so the answer is 1.25 kilometers, and there's your answer. That's done. Hope that helps.